Hello, this is Geoff Walker with In-Depth Studies. Today we're looking at the Gospel of Mark, chapter 2, verses 9 through 11. And here, well, I should set the context. Jesus is speaking in Capernaum, his hometown, and there's such a crowd that some folks who are caring for an invalid who couldn't walk, they were unable to get in the home in order to put this invalid before Jesus. So they went up on the roof, cut a hole in the roof, lowered him down there, and Jesus then spoke to him and healed him. But here's what he says in verses 9 through 11. He says, which is easier to say? Now, previous to this, he had said he could forgive sins, and the Jewish leaders were in an uproar. How can he forgive sins? So he says this, which is easier to say to this paralyzed man? Your sins are forgiven, or to say, get up, take up your mat, and walk? Well, now let's just think for a moment. What is easier to say? I mean, it's easier to say your sins are forgiven because there's no, physical manifestation of forgiveness of sins. Forgiveness of sins is in the court of heaven. The death of Jesus on the cross is placed into our account. We call that imputation. And as a result of that, we're unconditionally accepted by the Father. But, he says in verse 10, but I want you to know that the Son of Man has authority to forgive sins. So he said to the man, I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home. His point was, he was expecting them to connect the dots, that if I can heal this man, I can forgive his sins. He ties the two together. And that's his argument. And so that's God's argument. So I just want you to just appreciate what's going on in Mark 2. It was an amazing miracle, but he was revealing that he is God, for only God can forgive sins. You take care now.